Please subscribe my channel to help me grow. The first thing I saw when I opened the bathroom door was the white sheet of paper trembling in my husband's hand. His knuckles were pale, like every ounce of blood had drained from them. He looked at me the way someone looks at a stranger who just broke into their home. No words. Just quiet panic. It took me a second to recognize the paper. I had folded it myself. The clinic's test results. I felt the room tilt. My throat filled with heat. It felt like someone had struck me in the chest with something heavy and invisible. He asked one simple question. His voice was so soft it made my stomach twist. He said, "Who gave you this?" Those 4 words felt colder than the tiled floor under my feet. I tried to speak but my tongue felt glued to the roof of my mouth. For a moment I thought about lying. I actually thought about blaming the clinic, the test, an infection from a towel, something ridiculous, anything to escape that moment. But my voice broke before a lie could form. Everything inside me felt like it was collapsing. I told myself I was fine after that wedding. I told myself the guilt would pass. I told myself my husband would never know. I told myself it was a mistake and not a choice. But seeing him hold that paper made every excuse disappear like smoke. The truth hung between us, thick and suffocating. He did not shout. That was the worst part. The silence was sharper than any scream. He only said he wanted a name. I refused to give it. Not because I wanted to protect anyone but because the shame glued my jaw shut. His eyes narrowed and I felt an ache deep in my chest. He had always trusted me without hesitation. And now all that trust was melting away in front of me. That night he did not sleep in our room. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment leading up to the wedding. The dancing, the laughter, the drinks, the quiet walk to the garden with him, the man I should have pushed away. He was married too. We both knew exactly what we were doing. The worst part was how easy it had felt. The music had been loud enough to drown out guilt but not loud enough to silence the memory afterward. The next morning my husband did something I did not expect. He asked me to get dressed. His voice was flat, almost calm. I followed him to the car even though every instinct told me to run. He drove without speaking. The sky was gray and heavy. It matched the weight in my chest perfectly. We pulled up in front of a house I recognized. My stomach dropped so fast I felt dizzy. It was his house. The man from the wedding. I whispered his name before I could stop myself. My husband said nothing. He got out of the car and waited for me to follow. Every step felt like walking toward my own sentencing. His wife opened the door. She looked confused at first, then curious, then uneasy. My husband handed her the folded paper. He did not look at me. He did not look at the woman. He stared at the floor like he could not bear to see any of our faces. She unfolded the paper slowly. Her eyes moved across the words. Her expression shifted from confusion to disbelief. Her lips parted, trembling. She read it out loud. Every word cut deeper than the last. When she reached the part one had been dreading, she stopped and looked at me. Her voice cracked when she spoke his name. I could not meet her eyes. The silence that followed was so heavy it felt alive. Then she asked her own husband a question. It was the same question mine had asked me. "Who gave you this?" He stuttered and stepped back. She squared her shoulders, steadying herself. She looked like a woman who had been betrayed before and finally had proof. I saw myself in her. The version of me before the wedding. The version that would never exist again. My husband did not look pleased or vindicated. He looked devastated. He had not brought us there for revenge. He had done it so the truth would not drown him. He needed someone else to see the reality I had forced him into. I realized then that betrayal does not just break love. It breaks identity. It breaks the version of yourself that believed you were safe in someone's heart. The other woman told her husband to leave before she lost her mind. Her voice shook but she did not cry. I envied that strength. My husband walked back to the car. He did not look at me or touch me. I followed him again. But this time I felt like a shadow. He drove home in silence. When we reached the driveway, he finally turned to me. His eyes were tired in a way I had never seen. He said he did not know what would happen next. He said he needed time. He said he had loved me more than anything but now he did not know who he had loved. I felt something inside my chest pull apart. I wanted to tell him I still loved him, but the words felt smaller than the damage. When he walked inside without waiting for me, I knew that some betrayals do more than end relationships. Some betrayals end the person you used to be. And as I stood alone in the quiet driveway, I realized the truth that finally made my knees give out. I had not just destroyed his trust. I had destroyed the version of myself who once deserved it.